in the quiet suburb of Kissimmee, just south of Orlando, Florida, a cloud of unease descended upon the Venetian Bay Village complex the day after her 13th birthday party. Madeline Soto, a vibrant young girl on the cusp of adolescence, simply vanished. The Orange County Sheriff's deputies began their investigation, relying on the only information they had: the story offered by Maddy's mother, Jennifer, and her live-in partner, Stephan Stearns. But as investigators began to meticulously retrace the young girl's last known movements and spoke with others in her life, a horrifying truth began to surface. A collection of shocking and disturbing secrets that tragically led to the premature end of Maddy's young life. This is Tony Stone, and today, we're delving into a heart-wrenching story that has already captured national and international attention. This narrative is undeniably sad and deeply disturbing. I want to offer a word of warning that some viewers may find certain references upsetting, though we will not dwell on unnecessary details. Let's begin. On February 22, 2024, Madeline Soto celebrated her 13th birthday. That weekend, she marked the occasion with a birthday party at a family member's home in Central Florida. Maddy lived with her mother, Jennifer, at the Venetian Bay Village complex in Kissimmee and was a student at Hunters Creek Middle School. While Maddy may not have consistently received the best grades, her teachers universally described her as a sweet girl, though she was prone to distraction. The 13-year-old was diagnosed with ADHD, and Maddy confided in friends that her prescribed medication often made her tired, so she had recently stopped taking it. What was particularly concerning were reports from her teachers that she was frequently fatigued in class, her head down, her eyes closed. Friends also reported that Maddy often appeared sad, sometimes crying without offering a reason. At other times, she complained to them about her mother, calling Jennifer bipolar and claiming they argued frequently. Of Jennifer's boyfriend, Stephan Stearns, Madeline spoke affectionately to her friends. They reported that she felt a close bond with her stepfather figure, often texting or even FaceTiming him throughout the day. It may not have seemed relevant at the time, but in early 2024, Madeline also spoke about a desire to run away from home. She told friends that she would build a house out in the woods, asserting that as soon as she turned 13, she planned to pack up and leave. The chilling reality of Maddy's disappearance began to dawn on Monday, February 26th, the day after her birthday party. Jennifer Soto drove to Hunter Creek Middle School to collect her daughter. She waited as streams of children poured out from the school doors. As they dispersed, it became painfully clear that Madeline was not among them. Thinking Maddy might be with her grandmother, Jen walked to her mother's office building, which was close to the school and a place Maddy had occasionally walked to in the past. But she wasn't there either. School administrators checked attendance records for each period and informed Jen that her daughter had not attended classes that day at all. A frantic Jen immediately began searching the surrounding area in her car and on foot. By just after 4:30 p.m., with no sign of Maddy, two unidentified women, witnessing Jennifer's distress, made calls to 911 on behalf of the distraught mother. From her mother's office building near the middle school, Jen and others waited for police. There were no more obvious locations to search, and no sign of Madeline. The dispatcher's immediate questions began. "And the child that you're trying to report missing, are you calling on behalf of the parent?" Yes, on behalf of the mother," the woman confirmed. She stated Maddy was last seen near Peace Church next to the school. Maddy reportedly had no cell phone with her that day, having left it at home. The women grew increasingly impatient. "We have a missing child since this morning. We already called 3 times. "Yes, ma'am, I see it." "It's waiting for a deputy to respond." "You're waiting for a deputy to respond?" "Yes, ma'am. And how long more do we need to wait?" "It's a child missing," the dispatcher explained. "I understand that, ma'am, but I'm just not able to give out any data. I don't know when they'll be there. So, how long do we need to wait? This is an emergency. Ma'am, we're very busy in the area. Look, I understand. They'll be there as soon as they can. Okay. It was nearly 8:00 p.m. when deputies finally responded to the call out. With Jen were a handful of individuals offering support, including her boyfriend, Stephan Stearns. Jennifer reiterated her story to the officers. She was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker and I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school. They were closed. I got a notice, an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either, so she never made it. According to the school, teachers have until 3:30 p.m. to report their students' attendance. The automated call notifying Jen that Maddy had not been in class would not be made until 5:45 p.m. that night. By that time, Madeline had been missing for nearly 8 hours. The mother was already in a panic, desperately searching the surrounding area and making calls to police. What was she last seen wearing? I think she had a yellow coat, Stephan chimed in. She said she had green hoodies, white Crocs, either blue or black pants. I think black shorts. Yeah, black shorts. Okay, black shorts. All right. Police would learn that it was Stephan who claimed to have driven Maddy to school that morning. He chimed in to provide a description of what she was wearing. Notably, Jen inserted to clarify that Madeline had been wearing black shorts. That Jen seemed to know what Maddy was wearing that day suggested that she saw her daughter before she left for school, a fact that would later be questioned. Jen searched her phone for the most recent photo of Madeline, one taken from her birthday party the day before. Okay, where's the photo right there? It's on laptop. That's fine. Maddy had allegedly forgotten her cell phone and her phone number at home that day. According to Jen, her forgetfulness was not uncommon, a symptom of her ADHD. My agent said she has a phone number. A phone, she does, but she left it at home today. I have to walk her. You have it. I already know from her messages. Okay, how about, does she have like Apple Watch? She has. She's got a device. The only device she's got on her right now is her keyboard. Right. That's cool. Is that trackable? No, I don't think so. People search for it. It should be. If the Wi-Fi is turned off, it'll try to connect to me Wi-Fi. I'm gonna circle here. Maddy's school-issued laptop was trackable, though it had not been turned on since Sunday, the day prior. Stephan then told police that we, implying both he and Jen, dropped her off a block away from the school that morning at roughly 8:30 a.m. or 8:40 a.m. When was the last time you seen her? Do you know around what time? Around 8:30, 8:40 when we dropped her off. How tall is she? 5'11"? Yeah. Weight, 110 pounds, or 110, 120. Does she have any markings on her? Like any scars? Anything like that? She has a distinctive beauty mark on her face. On the face, like below the nose or near the nose. Yeah, like right in that area there. It's very distinctive. You'd know if you saw it. Thank you. Stephan spoke independently with deputies following the missing persons report, and the officers were beginning to piece together a timeline of Maddy's last known movements. They learned that Stephan had taken her to school that morning, something he claimed to have done on occasion, but was in fact a rare task for the self-proclaimed stepfather. Madeline was commonly taken to school by her mother or grandparents. Her biological father kept in touch, but was not actively in her life. It was Stephan who claimed to have assumed this fatherly role. We have a very strong bond. You know, I'm the person she goes to when her mom gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her. And I'm that person for her. You know, this girl knows nothing but love here and sandwiches. According to Stephan, when he did take Maddy to school, she asked that he not drive her all the way to the building, preferring to be dropped at a distance so she could walk up. His stated reason she thought Stephan's vehicle, a silver 2010 Lincoln, was unattractive. Stephan agreed to drop her near Peace United Methodist Church, located at Town Loop Boulevard, which is approximately a 5-minute walk from Hunter Creek Middle School. The plan was that we were going to get McDonald's breakfast on the way, so we made amazingly good time getting up there. I don't mean to interrupt you. Okay, neither of us were here yesterday, so if you can be kind of specific about times and stuff like that. Okay. Woke up around 7:15, somewhere around there, which is an early start for us. But we had talked about getting McDonald's breakfast. We did make good time. We got out the door maybe 7:30, 7:35-ish. Maybe. Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time, just snoozing until we got there. We got to McDonald's, close to McDonald's. I said, "You still want it." Wasn't interested in McDonald's anymore, so we continued on. And she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from the school. She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of the school. She commerced a mom's car. That was sometime probably between 8:20 and 8:40-ish, somewhere in there. It was along the stretch of the road that, on the right side, that has all the communities on it before you get to the overpass. You could see the overpass from where it was, so it was on that side on that stretch of road. He stated that after he parted ways with Maddy, he watched as she looked through her backpack. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to go find them and hang out and wait for her friends. I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, "Yeah, it's fine. Kids get dropped off early enough as it is, so it's not totally unusual for that to happen. She's not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her." I said, "Okay, let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you, too." And then I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rear-view mirror to make sure that she was where she was supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction. But she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something. I don't think that she forgot her phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone. Jen Soto told police she saw Maddy at 11:00 p.m. the night before, when her daughter and Stephan went to bed together in the same room. Jen told deputies in 2 separate conversations that the 3 of them regularly slept together in one bed as a family. But as Jen had recently started a new job, she claimed she chose to sleep separately from Maddy and Stephan in order to get better rest. When queried if it was common for her to leave her boyfriend and daughter alone, reports show Jen offered different responses. In one instance, she said it was rare for this to take place. In another conversation, she admitted it was not an uncommon arrangement in the house, but one that did not concern her. She stated that she had been hyper-vigilant with Maddy around Stephan, but had grown more relaxed over the years. The two had been together on and off for roughly 7 years, and throughout that period, Stephan and Madeline, she said, had grown very close. Stephan's description of his movements that morning immediately became a focal point of the investigation. The 38-year-old took police to the location by the church where he claimed to have left Maddy to walk the rest of the way. Was he here? It was along this stretch. I can't remember the exact spot, but it was around where these communities were. Sure. Oh, thank you. So it was around where these communities were. Okay. And it's just like in this stretch. We could see the overpass down there. Where's this from? Just on the other side of the overpass. 2105. So somewhere around here. So yeah, somewhere. Maybe not this one, but the next one possibly is right in this stretch. We just came down, and we drove about halfway down, and she was like, "That's good right here." All right. Initially, this story appeared to check out. A camera was located in front of the Peace Church property at the intersection of Town Loop Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane, right where Stephan claimed to have stopped. Deputies checked the church camera, It appeared to show a juvenile enter the property from Town Loop Boulevard at approximately 8:40 a.m. and sit down on the ground in the parking lot. The figure then stood to leave at 8:58 a.m. and walked off in the direction of the school. But there were immediate issues with the footage. It was of extremely poor quality. As a result, the figure could not be confirmed to be Madeline. Not even the clothing could be seen clearly enough to discern a match to what she was thought to have been wearing. Additionally, what was somewhat visible on the recording was the vehicle that dropped off the blurry figure. It appeared to be a dark sedan, not a silver Lincoln. Indeed, traffic cameras did capture Stephan's car driving around the school area that morning, but not all the way to the location he stated. As his vehicle approached the school, he appeared to make a turn and began traveling in the opposite direction. So, keep in mind, all of this is still northbound. Okay, right? You're still northbound on Jongyong Parkway. Why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10? Your car is seen going southbound at this intersection, so meaning going toward Kissimmee. Kissimmee? I'd forgotten something. I'd forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry, I forgot. I had gone back to the house real quick after we left because I forgot my gate clicker. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So, it was the wrong time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a boring person. The Orange County Sheriff's Department organized a massive search effort to find Madeline. Over 50 members of the emergency response team combed through hiking trails and dense woodland near the school grounds. Dogs tracking Maddy's scent walked the paths, while ATVs and horses were utilized to cover the rough terrain. Investigators were able to access Madeline's phone and found information indicating that she had told people that when she turned 13, she actually wanted to go live in the woods. While the search was ongoing, Jen and Stephan spoke with the local news media, desperately trying to get the word out. Jen, visibly distressed, repeated her story. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it from that walk and that was around 9 when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or she got taken. But she never made it. And I looked at their messages. Nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone, so I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken because this is not like her at all to just disappear and not tell us, not let us know where she's going or who she's with. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help because I'm desperate. I'm a wreck right now. I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay, and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back, whatever that means. I just want her back. Stephan reiterated what he told the deputies, maintaining his narrative. You seem very emotional right now. Explain to us. I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her. What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off? Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. Said thanks. Love you too. That was it. He expressed self-blame. Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself? It's hard not to. Why I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day. So I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself. The sheriff's department had been tracking Stephan's movements all over Kissimmee and the surrounding area using traffic cameras and building security footage. What they found was that the turn he made away from the school at 8:10 a.m. was not the only oddity in his course of travel that day. Security camera footage next to the apartment complex dumpsters captured Stephan discarding items into it at 7:30 a.m. After he claimed to do the school drop, he drove to a vape shop, only to find it hadn't opened yet. He said he returned to the apartment complex for a time, then left again to go back to that vape shop. After that, he set off to a game store called House Rules. But just like numerous other locations, he said he intended to visit that day. Stephan drove towards them but never actually reached these destinations. In this way, he attempted to explain why his car was captured in different locations around Orange and Osceola counties but was never on camera entering a restaurant or shop. Sometime between noon and 2:00 p.m., the 38-year-old had to change a flat tire. When he did so, he claimed he was pulled over somewhere on US 192, a rural road with little traffic. He could not specify where exactly on the roadside he stopped to swap out the flat. Cameras placed him driving out to this area but could not determine the full route he took. A search warrant was obtained for the home and Stephan's car. During the execution of the warrant, deputies requested access to Stephan's cell phone. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to get sorted out, I am gonna hold on to your phone. Okay, I'll give it back to you when we're done. Okay, do you have any questions for us? How long are you gonna need my phone? I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call me. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates. They can call Genspun. Okay. Stephan reluctantly granted access to his device, which he claimed he had accidentally reset to its factory settings. In fact, forensics teams found that on the day Maddy disappeared, he performed a factory reset on his phone, not once, but twice. Detectives also meticulously traced the trash from the apartment complex dumpster to the facility where it was separately emptied. The Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics Unit located the intact tread of a tire, the pattern that chillingly matched the rear passenger tire of Stephan's vehicle. In close proximity to the tire, crime scene investigators located a white trash bag. It was this bag that Stephan was seen tossing into the apartment dumpster before the school run around 7:30 a.m. The trash bag contained a black backpack with what appeared to be purple Hawaiian print and one white Croc shoe. The matching shoe was found in one of the bedrooms inside the house. Inside the backpack, CSI located an Orange County public school computer with Madeline Soto's name on it. Sheriff Marcos Lopez delivered the grim news to the public. So thank you for being here. We have some important developments in this case that we want to share with our community. I wish we were here to tell you that we have found Madeline, but we have not found her. Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's mother, and they had to tell her the very devastating news that although we have not found Madeline, we are now confident that she is dead. So, our efforts will be focused on recovering Madeline. The sheriff then revealed the chilling truth. Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time. Just after tossing the white trash bag into the compactor at 7:30 a.m., Stephan returned to his vehicle. This camera footage has not been released. After hearing what it captures, the decision to keep it private is easy to understand. According to police, visible in the front passenger seat of the Lincoln was a female wearing a green hoodie, her head tilted onto her left shoulder. One police report described the young girl as slumped over in an abnormal way for a person to be seated. At roughly 8:20 a.m., Stephan drove out through the complex's gates, briefly interacting with a security guard. Just over an hour later, after driving his slumped-over passenger towards different destinations, Stephan's vehicle entered a parking garage at a Holiday Inn. There, he parked. Police say the security footage in the parking garage shows the driver exit the car, lift what appears to be a limp body from the front passenger seat, and move her into the trunk. The car then exited the lot. Stephan's vehicle was captured driving on Old Hickory Tree Road and Nolte Road later that day. Somewhere in this area, he stopped to change his tire. By 4:40 p.m., He had returned to the complex where he tossed tire treads into the dumpster. Roughly around this time, Jen Soto was at the Hunter Creek school frantically trying to locate her daughter. Stephan Stearns was arrested and held in custody, but not, at least initially, for murder. That charge was certainly on the police's radar, but they had uncovered a wealth of other incriminating evidence that compelled an immediate arrest. Detectives found that a Google Drive was linked to Stephan's phone. The drive contained disturbing materials of a sexual nature dating over a period of roughly 2 years throughout 2022 and 2023. A number of these, over 1,700 images and videos, depicted Madeline. A notable physical feature of Stephan's was visible in many of these images, which removed any doubt that he was the adult male pictured. After a thorough inventory of the contents were made, Stephan Stearns was charged with 60 counts, including sexual battery, and charges specifically relating to his actions with a minor. Metadata containing the date that each picture or video was taken meant that many of the charges applied to a child under the age of 12, particularly heinous and vile crimes. In fact, recent changes in Florida law meant that had the dates on these files varied by even a few months, he could have faced the death penalty if convicted of the abuse charges. As it stood, the 60 charges against him could still yield a term of life in prison if convicted on all or most counts. On Friday, March 1st, 2024, law enforcement received a crucial tip. Stephan Stearns had been spotted changing a flat tire in the area of Hickory Tree Road in St. Cloud. The witness placed him with his vehicle very near to the last camera that had captured him driving that way on the afternoon of February 26th. At about 4:30 p.m. that afternoon, the sheriff's department contacted the landowner of the field behind a locked gate opposite the section of the road where Stephan was thought to have pulled over. Opening the gate, they wandered to the left where there is a long line of tall bamboo trees. At that point, the captain noticed blue jeans just a few feet into the bamboo tree line. Under the trees, they spotted what appeared to be a body. Her top half was covered by a green hooded sweatshirt. She wore blue jeans. It seemed that the young girl was covered by pieces of hay or dry grass. So what we did was we sent our units out here and we did discover what appears to be a body. The body has clothing very similar to what the victim was last seen wearing. We cannot say it is the victim's body at this time until it's confirmed from the medical examiners. It was later confirmed that the girl found in the tree line was Madeline Soto. Due to the assumed nature of the crime involving domestic violence and that she was a minor, the cause of death was not officially released. Local news reported that they had come to believe from speaking with their sources in the medical examiner's office that Madeline had died of strangulation. There has been a predictable amount of speculation relating to what Jennifer Soto knew about what was happening in the home and when she knew about it. The inconsistencies in the mother's story did not help with her credibility, though it must be acknowledged that a certain amount of confusion is understandable and expected given the stress of losing her daughter. One deputy reported that Jen stated that she last saw her daughter in the morning getting ready for school at approximately 8:00 a.m. This sighting would explain how she thought she knew what her daughter was wearing that day, though her description did not match what Maddy was found wearing under the bamboo trees. In a later interview, Jen stated only possibly hearing her daughter that morning. Jen now states that she did not in fact see Maddy the morning she disappeared. She awoke around 7 or 8 a.m. and heard Stephan taking the dog for a walk. She did not hear Maddy in the house at all. Jen then left for an appointment at roughly 9:30 a.m. Stephan had not yet returned from taking Maddy to school, she said. According to Kissimmee PD, Jen is not a suspect in the case. Detective Morris, who took the lead in the investigation upon the discovery of materials on Stephan's cloud account, confronted Jennifer with some of the images. The detective wrote that when confronted, Jen denied being able to identify the people in the photos. He reported that it was clear what was being depicted, but despite this, Jen insisted that she didn't recognize anything in the picture. as if she was in denial. However, he wrote, she became visibly upset. Detective Morris had spoken with Jen on February 27th, 3 days before Madeline was found. He noted in his report that the distraught mother referred to her daughter throughout the interview in the past tense. Stephan Stearns was formally indicted for first-degree murder for the death of Madeline Soto. He has subsequently refused to appear in court for any hearings, having expressed his discontent over the conditions offered at the county jail. Don't know why they don't do that. You know, why don't they just kind of like at least give you a blanket? No, my core temperature was down. Lieutenant told me there was like a degree or two lower than it should have been. Wow. Couldn't regulate sleeping on bare metal. The first night, there was a concrete floor that rolled toward the bank for pillow and nothing else. They could put a blanket over your head to sleep on for like 2 days. Think they were supposed to do something like that. The state of Florida has declared its intention to seek the death penalty. Legal commentators have speculated that if Stephan does push for a trial, it would only be to save him from death row. Based on what has been uncovered, there is no realistic case to be made for his innocence. In Florida, a jury no longer needs to be unanimous in its decision to use capital punishment. A vote of 8 to 4 jurors in favor is sufficient to hand down this sentence. Madeline Soto is deeply mourned by her family and friends. Her closest friends at school cried as they told police about their time with Maddy and how much they missed her. A community prayer for her safe return tragically shifted to a vigil on the night of her death. The first thing that came to my mind was my own daughter, and I'm sure that everybody thinks of that at a tragic moment like this. It's heartbreaking and saddening to kind of see this happening. Your children are supposed to be protected, and unfortunately in this case, she was exposed. That was the tragic case of Madeline Soto. This is Tony Stone, and I'll see you in the next one.